They said the screams rolled across the plains like thunder. Summer 1462. The Ottoman Empire, fresh from conquering Constantinople, advanced toward Wallachia expecting an easy campaign. Days, maybe weeks. Instead, the army stalled. An unbearable odor drifted across the countryside. Decay, death, something indescribably foul. Scouts froze. When the Ottomans crested the final hill before the capital, they saw it. A forest, except the trees weren't trees. They were people. 20,000 bodies mounted on sharpened stakes, arranged in geometric precision. Soldiers who had once marched under Ottoman banners swayed in the wind. Some were rotted beyond recognition, others still clung to life. The Sultan himself, conqueror of Byzantium, turned and ordered a retreat. This was not a battlefield. It was psychological warfare, executed with industrial precision. The horror was deliberate. Vlad III had transformed terror into a weapon. To understand Vlad the Impaler, the story must rewind to 1442. Vlad was 11. His father, Vlad II Dracula, had gambled politically with Sultan Mehmed II. In exchange for keeping his throne, he surrendered his two youngest sons as hostages. Vlad and his brother Radu were delivered deep into Ottoman territory, not dungeons but palaces. Fine silks, tutors, elite military training, but all designed to indoctrinate and control. Vlad observed the empire that would one day be his enemy. He watched public executions, not just to kill but to terrorize cities. He saw fear enforced with meticulous precision, learned how to control populations without armies, and cataloged it all. His brother Radu adapted, but Vlad resisted. Punished repeatedly, he endured, constructing an internal arsenal of knowledge, cruelty, and calculation. By 1448, after 6 years in captivity, Vlad returned to Wallachia at 17, only to find his family destroyed. His father murdered, his older brother buried alive, the nobility treacherous. Revenge became inseparable from strategy. Over the next 6 years, Vlad studied war, politics, and the weaknesses of Hungary and the Ottomans. In 1456, backed by Hungary, he seized the Wallachian throne. His coronation feast became a declaration of rule. Boyar families, complicit in his family's destruction, were invited. Confident they arrived, but mid-feast, Vlad tested their loyalties with a question about past princes. Those who answered were seized. The older nobles, architects of his family's downfall, were impaled with calculated precision. Death came slowly, screams filling the air. Younger nobles were forced to rebuild the ruins of Buonari Castle under brutal conditions. Many died. Survivors were broken, dependent entirely on Vlad. Fear was not a byproduct, it was governance. Beyond Wallachia, the Ottomans tested him. In 1459, Sultan Mehmed II demanded tribute and Vlad's submission. Vlad responded with psychological precision. Ottoman envoys were mutilated yet kept alive, a warning that shattered bonds without outright execution. Impalement was deliberate, prolonged, public, and designed to terrify. Stakes were placed in public view, arranged geometrically, sometimes with hierarchy. Nobles higher, peasants lower, military leaders prominent. By the time Mehmed marched into Wallachia, he faced a landscape of horror. Villages burned, supply lines destroyed, guerrilla attacks relentless. His army, tens of thousands strong, was harassed nightly, sleep-deprived, and demoralized. And then came the forest of the Impaled. Thousands of bodies, decaying, impaled, arranged with calculated geometry, some still alive. Hamza Pasha, an Ottoman commander mounted at the center, served as a stark message. This was strategy, not madness. The Ottoman campaign collapsed. Supply lines overstretched, morale shattered. Sultan Mehmed II ordered retreat. Wallachia, a tiny principality, had repelled the mightiest empire through calculated terror. Vlad had won, but the cost of wielding such fear would shape the rest of his life. By early 1462, Sultan Mehmed II had reached his limit. Vlad didn't just refuse tribute, he escalated. He launched raids deep into Ottoman territory south of the Danube. In one notorious operation, Vlad reportedly killed over 23,000 people, keeping meticulous tallies of age and gender. Mehmed, conqueror of Constantinople and Europe's most formidable military, faced defiance from a tiny principality. Furious, he mobilized an enormous army, 60,000 to 90,000 soldiers, far outnumbering Vlad's 20,000 fighters. Vlad refused open battle. Villages were abandoned, crops destroyed, wells poisoned, livestock hidden. Supplies stretched thin, the Ottomans marched into ghost towns. Small units of 5,100 men struck at night. Assassinations, ambushes, stolen supplies, fires. Sleep-deprived, hungry, paranoid, the Ottoman troops felt hunted. Vlad had turned Wallachia into a living trap. The climax came on June 17, 1462, the night attack. Vlad led roughly 10,000 men under darkness, disguised in Ottoman uniforms, speaking enough Turkish to sow confusion. His goal: infiltrate the Sultan's camp near Targovist and assassinate Mehmed II. Chaos erupted. Horses bolted, tents burned, soldiers attacked their own comrades. Vlad reached the Sultan's tent, but the Janissary guard blocked him. Hours of brutal fighting ended with a strategic retreat. Casualties were limited, but the psychological impact was devastating. The Ottomans continued toward the capital, wary at every step. The countryside seemed alive with unseen enemies. Then came Targovist, and the full horror of Vlad's design, the forest of the Impaled. Thousands of stakes, geometric patterns, victims decaying or still alive. Hamza Pasha, an Ottoman commander, mounted on the tallest stake, sent a grim warning to Mehmed. This was not cruelty for its own sake. Stakes were placed to maximize visibility. Nobles impaled higher, peasants lower, military leaders in prominent positions. Concentric circles, spirals, star-like formations demonstrated precision and authority. Survivors and witnesses spread the stories. Even Mehmed, a veteran of countless campaigns, halted, recognizing the unassailable power of Vlad's psychological warfare. The Ottoman army retreated. Fear had done what conventional warfare could not. Vlad's small principality had bested the greatest empire through terror, ingenuity, and meticulous planning. But victory came at a cost. The terror that had saved Wallachia now became his default method of governance. By late 1462, minor infractions were met with impalement. Overcharging merchants, disloyal nobles, entire villages. No offense was too small. Radu, Vlad's brother backed by Ottoman funds, positioned himself as a rational alternative. Hungarian allies distanced themselves. Isolation followed. In November 1462, Vlad fled into Hungarian territory, ironically imprisoned by King Matthias Corvinus, his supposed ally. Historians debate the reason. Some argue Matthias fabricated evidence suggesting secret negotiations with the Ottomans. Others claim Vlad was simply too dangerous and unstable to remain free. Unlike his Ottoman captivity, this imprisonment was comfortable. Vlad lived under house arrest, married a Hungarian noblewoman, and had children. He remained imprisoned for 12 years, adapting to court life and patiently awaiting opportunity. In 1476, instability returned to Wallachia. Weak rulers had allowed chaos to grow, aided by Stephen the Great of Moldavia and Hungarian forces. Vlad returned to seize the throne in November. His second reign lasted barely 2 months, ending with his death in battle near Bucharest by December 1476 or January 1477. Accounts vary. Some claim he was killed accidentally by his own troops. Others insist he was overwhelmed by Ottoman forces. After his death, his head was severed, preserved in honey, and sent to Sultan Mehmed II in Constantinople as proof the Wallachia threat was eliminated. His body, reportedly buried on an island at Snagov Monastery, was never definitively located. Vlad's death symbolized the tragic irony of his life. A man who used terror as shield and weapon ended as a trophy in the empire he had spent decades fighting. Yet Vlad's legacy endured. In Romania, he is remembered as a national hero, fierce, uncompromising, and credited with preserving Wallachia's autonomy during one of its most dangerous periods. Statues honor him. His image appears on souvenirs. His name is a symbol of resistance against overwhelming power. Beyond Romania, popular culture transformed him. Bram Stoker's 1897 Dracula borrowed his name, turning Vlad into a supernatural figure associated with vampirism, bloodlust, and monstrous cruelty. The irony: the real Vlad was entirely human. His methods, as terrifying as they were, arose from trauma, indoctrination, and precise strategy, not supernatural malice. Every impalement, every night raid, every grotesque display was calculated. Psychological terror, precision, and spectacle were his tools. The forest of the Impaled was not madness, it was engineering. Night attacks were military calculus, not chaos. Vlad understood fear as infrastructure, a tool to enforce obedience, protect his land, and project power. Modern historians and psychologists note a deeper truth. Vlad demonstrates how human nature responds to terror. Fear, wielded with precision, bends even the strongest armies. The Ottoman retreat in 1462, despite overwhelming numbers, highlights the power of psychological operations over brute force. Vlad's campaigns show that strategy can transcend sheer military might, manipulating perception and exploiting human psychology. Yet terror is corrosive. Vlad's isolation, escalating brutality, and eventual downfall illustrate the cost of living within the methods one develops. The same tools that protect can alienate, destabilize, and erode support. History remembers Vlad as both defender and monster. The legend of Dracula obscures a more unsettling reality. Strategic cruelty, not supernatural evil, allowed one man to bend reality and survive against impossible odds. Ultimately, Vlad III's story is both warning and lesson. The forest of the Impaled, the night attacks, the theatrical violence were not anomalies. They were the outcome of systematic planning, learned behavior, and psychological precision. The horror works because it is human. Fear is powerful. Misused, it can destroy not just enemies but the society it was meant to protect. The forest of the Impaled was strategy. Night attacks were calculated warfare. Every gruesome act, every display of horror served a purpose. Against staggering odds, it worked. Vlad III was not an inhuman monster. He was a man who understood human nature and weaponized it. His story is about fear, power, survival, and the terrifying efficiency of a mind trained in trauma, brutality, and uncompromising logic. The lesson endures. Human intelligence, strategy, and cruelty, when wielded without restraint, can shape history in ways armies alone cannot. Vlad III's life is a reminder that fear, properly engineered, is one of the most formidable forces in the world, and that even the most ruthless methods come with consequences, both for the wielder and for those caught in its shadow.